We are here, bald, bearded, and bold. We are back for another episode. We are live from beautiful Morgantown, West Virginia, in Mundy's Place, a local establishment that was opened in, I believe, 1949 is what I heard. Let's get a little applause for Mundy's.
We can fact check that.
Yeah, well,
Is that true? 1949, is that
correct? Awesome.
Fact check.
Because Tony's wrong a lot, so we need to make sure we check Tony at all points. So thank you guys for coming out. We are here with a legend here in Morgantown, West Virginia, Coach Randy Mazey. Retired last year as West Virginia baseball coach, had an amazing run. I mean, anybody that's a Mountaineer fan, the baseball program before Coach Mazey got here was basically non-existent, and he completely breathed life into it and made it what it is today. And right now, it's amazing the success they're having. So, Coach, thanks for joining us. Honor to have you.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to be here. But just so you know, I didn't do shit when I got here. It was all the people around me that did all the hard work. I just collected all the glory, I guess. But it's been a lot of fun, when Oliver Luck decided that they were going to have a baseball program 12 years ago when they joined the Big 12, because he had a choice.
Right.
They were going to drop it. They were going to completely drop the baseball program. And he made some calls to some baseball people and said, is it even possible to have good baseball at West Virginia? And a couple people talked him into it. And the rest is, as we say, history.
History.
Yeah.
Amazing history, actually.
So good for Oliver Luck. So I had nothing to do with it. It was
I think you had a
Oliver.
little to do with it.
I was along for the ride.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like I said, the program is flourishing right now. It's amazing. You built an amazing thing and then handed it off, and they're just having a truly amazing year so far.
So this is, is this live? Or is this being broadcast live? We're going to send this out next week.
Yes.
So as we sit here right now, we haven't won a Big 12 championship yet. We can do it tonight.
Yes.
But since this is going to be broadcast next week, I can say we have already won the championship. Is that jinxing it?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
If we don't win it, just cut this out.
Yeah, we'll just edit.
Yeah.
Yes, that's how.
So how about the Mountaineers winning the Big 12?
Amazing.
Yeah, how about that? George, it's going to happen. Here's the beautiful thing about Mondays. I've been doing shows here for a long time, and the reason I do the show here is because I literally know everyone here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, where can you go and have a show and go to a bar and literally look around the room and know the names of everybody in the bar? That's
all your friends, yeah.
That's why this literally are all my friends.
Well, this is it?
This is it.
There's no more?
What? Speaking of people that I know, that's my son.
Oh, very nice. Welcome.
Whammer's in the house.
Welcome. Yeah.
So, yeah. See, everybody knows him. So
yeah.
That's why we started doing podcasts and shows here, is because the family atmosphere, and that's why Mondays is what Mondays is.
That's great. Yeah, it's nice that all of your friends could come. I mean, I think you might have one or two more, but you got a nice group here today, and we're honored. I've been coming to Morgantown for my entire life, born and raised in West Virginia, but I've not been in this section, so. And I've been in some places down here, Bugsy's, and I've been out there and had a few beers once or twice, and the Nickel and Novacek's and all the places the locals like. But this is my first time in Mundy's Place, so I'm honored to be here. And I like the small town, mom and pop bars. That's my grandfather and my dad. That was what they like, so I kind of came up that way.
Well, here's the history of me doing my show in Mundy's, the Mondays at Mundy's. I always wanted to, and I know some of you guys know this story. I don't know if you know the story, but I always wanted to do a radio show in the state of West Virginia, a baseball show.
Okay.
Not for my own benefit. I don't have an ego, but I thought when we got good, the people of West Virginia would want to know what's going on in the baseball program.
Yep.
Because with the advent of ESPN Plus and the success, we were developing fans all over the state.
Sure.
And I thought a radio show would be amazing. And they would never give me one. And it pissed me off to the point where
you said, hell with it, I'm doing it myself.
Guys, I'll do it myself.
Good for you.
So this is a place that I would come because the ice rink is right down the road. And
right.
All of our kids play hockey, and I'd drop them off at practice and come and have a couple beers and got to know all the bartenders and owners. And
sure.
I said, would you guys have any interest in me doing a show here? And so we, with Tony and Vinny and everybody, we put it together and started doing our show on Mondays. And to say it took off would be an understatement. These are some of the originals. These are the originals.
The founding members, so to speak, yes.
Yep. So then it gravitated. I'd bring a couple players with me, and they'd get to talk back and forth with the players and ask them questions.
Sure.
And I remember when old J.J. Weatherholt came, there was a line going out the door.
Oh, I can imagine.
You couldn't get in to talk to J.J., but it was so much fun. I literally looked forward to the show on Mondays more than the game on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Because it was so much fun for me to just come up here and listen to questions from people and good questions and
sure.
Al's questions and and get to know the people. It was just a tremendous amount of fun. We'd play games and do all kind of things and just had a great time doing it.
That's great.
And like you said, it wasn't on the radio, so we didn't have to be politically correct.
Which is good.
So we could
for me, at least, yeah.
We could say whatever we wanted. So
that's wonderful.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. That's kind of, it's funny you mention that because, this is not what I do for a living. I run a wealth management firm for a living and decided to kind of do a podcast based on some of the experiences I had in my life. And I just wanted kind of a way to go out and talk to people about, as I mentioned to you, my wife passed away about 3 years ago. I'm raising 2 kids, 6 and 8, by myself. And I just wanted something. We looked at Tony and Karen, and we went out and looked around, and there was not a single podcast for single fathers. Nothing. So I said, we got to do something. Put something out. And podcast is better for me because I have my filter is not great. So I say things that I probably shouldn't. So we kind of did the same thing. And we've been mobile. We've been all over the place. This is, we're here and we've been to TJ's, which is a sports bar up in Wheeling. And we've done it at the radio station. We've done it in my office. We've been all over the place. And we're kind of a mobile unit and we're looking to go some other. But I think this might be our Morgantown spot going forward, though. We'll have to do maybe another one this summer, and we'll do one for football season. We'll come back and do something along those lines.
We're a baseball school.
I'll be honest. I would agree with that right now.
Cut that out. Where's the editing? Cut that out.
Yeah. I would agree that we're
joking. Joking.
I don't know. I think that might be true right now. Yeah, we'll see how things go in the fall. But yeah. Yeah, exactly. We need some results first, right? But no, and then just your background is amazing. With your coaching career was stellar, and then you come in here, and now you did at TCU and East Carolina, and your background at Clemson and all that. You got a great career, but then when you came here, the worm turned completely for West Virginia baseball. Give us a little background on what your thoughts were when you got here.
It wasn't that difficult. This program is, in the coaching world, we all thought of it as a sleeping giant. It was a program that was getting into Big 12, Power 5 at the time.
Sure.
Everybody out there knew that we were so capable of being good, but never were. There were times back in the 80s and 90s they would have a good team sprinkled in here.
Flash in the pan kind of thing.
Yeah, but consistent success. I likened this when I came here. One of the reasons I came here was Oregon State.
Okay.
Oregon State in the
holy moly.
Crank that thing up.
He did. He's adjusting stuff.
Oregon State in the Pac-12 was one of the northernmost teams in a Power 5 conference that stretched north to south. So how could Oregon State in the north, terrible weather, be better than the Arizona States and Arizonas and UCLA and USC? And when West Virginia got into Big 12, I said, okay, here we go.
Yep.
The northernmost team in a conference that stretches north to south. You could attract all the kids in the Northeast that wanted to play big-time baseball and stay relatively close to home.
Sure.
So if it wasn't for the Beavers out there, to compare this to. Who knows what would have happened, but I was crazy enough as a young coach to think that you could win anywhere if you just do the right things.
Do the right culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first thing, the culture, and then once you start sprinkling in the good players to the good culture, then all of a sudden you win championships.
And you start winning, right.
It's not rocket science. It really isn't. You just got to do what you know how to do and surround yourself with good people, and next thing you know, you're doing podcasts at Mondays.
There you go. Yeah, it's a great point. We're going to take a quick break here and come back, and I want to talk to you a little bit about why you retired, sort of at the apex. I mean, you were as successful as anybody in the country, and decided to step away for some amazing reasons, and get a little background on some of the trials and tribulations you've had, and why you kind of stepped away to do what you're doing now. So.
Don't use big words like apex with me.
Sorry. Apex is actually a short word.
It's a short word, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, okay.
But we're in Mondays. You have to explain everything you talk about.
Do we need we might need some cue cards and things like that. Flash. Okay. But we'll be right back here on Bald, Bearded, and Bold. Thank you very much.
Every brand has a story. At Sparks Media Agency, we help you tell it. Authentically, visually, and with heart. Sparks Media Agency. Story-driven content that connects.
Okay, we're back here on Bald, Bearded, and Bold with Coach Randy Mazey of the West Virginia Mountaineers. And we're here again at Monday's Place in Morgantown, West Virginia. Founded in 1949. If you want some good food or a cold drink, come here and by all means get that. And you never know, you might see Coach Mazey here having a cold one.
There's a pretty good chance you will. They actually shout out to everybody here, some of the best bar food in Morgantown. I'll swear by that.
You'll swear by that? Awesome.
Swear by that.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the fall you might get some homemade chili.
Oh, now you're talking.
I ordered some a little bit ago, but they said it's too hot outside, so
no chili.
Gotta wait till the fall.
Wait till the fall. I get it.
I'll be back.
That's football food, I guess. Yeah, I see. We were talking about your career, but I wanted to talk a little bit about you retiring last year and sort of the background. The podcast. Again, as I've talked about, is just, we talk about single fatherhood and families in general and, our kids. And I know you went through some tough times. Your son had an injury, and then you kind of wanted to focus on your daughter and your son's, athletic careers. You hadn't seen much, and you wanted to take some time to kind of focus on them. So give us a little background on that.
Yeah, when I decided to retire, it's kind of weird how as you get older, things change in your life and in your mind. And when I was a young coach, and I would hear older coaches say all the time, man, when we lose a game, I don't sleep at night. And I'm like, yeah, it's bullshit. That's just coach speak. Nobody doesn't sleep at night.
Right.
And when I got here, and there's so much responsibility in this program to represent this entire state.
Sure.
There's a little bit of self-induced pressure with that because you feel so responsible to so many people. So I got to the point where when we would lose games, I wasn't sleeping at night. And I was like, what could I have done differently? Could I have pitched this guy or bunted here or done that? And I wasn't, up till 4 a.m.
Sure.
And I would actually get out of bed, go out to the couch and try and distract myself by turning on Dr. Phil reruns.
Oh, that'll do it.
That'll do it.
That'll do. You see some crazy shit on Dr. Phil.
My problems were minimal compared to those
people.
Well,
the girl that's pregnant by her brother-in-law or whatever the hell's going on Dr. Phil that day, yeah.
So then it got to the point where we started winning so much, and then I would go to bed at night and I would think, man, we're doing great. We better keep doing great.
Right.
Or when this thing crashes, if it crashes, that's even going to be worse than losing.
Start waiting for the other shoe to drop, so to speak, yeah.
So now all of a sudden I'm not sleeping at night when we lose, and now I'm not sleeping at night when we win.
So you're not sleeping.
And so I'm not sleeping, and I'm just a zombie the next day, and I wasn't as good a husband or father as I could be.
Sure.
And I'm like, this isn't fair to my family.
Right.
So the good news is I became an expert at Dr. Phil. I mean,
he taught you some things?
Yeah, I could be a self-proclaimed psychologist at this point.
I like to hear it.
So I just wasn't, and, you know, being a father and a husband is, as you know, way more important than coaching.
Absolutely.
I mean, you have a bad day as a coach, you lose a game. Are you shitting me?
It's a game.
Yeah, it's a game.
It's a game.
It's a game. So I wanted to be present with my wife, and I wanted to see my kids, which I had never gotten to do.
Sure.
So, ironically, the day before I retired, I was offered a 5-year contract.
Wow.
And I'm like, you're probably not going to believe this, but
I'm done.
And I didn't care about the money. You know, I didn't want my kids to think that that's why I'm doing this.
Sure.
I got into this profession because I loved being around kids and teaching kids and watching them grow. And I just got away from that because it just got to be too much. So, and I knew the program was going to be in good hands.
Right.
I wouldn't have done it if I didn't think that.
Right.
Because my son's coming to play here.
Oh, of course.
I'm not stupid.
Yeah, you don't want to, I mean, you want to get him in,
to be coached by the people I wanted him to be coached by.
Sure.
So everything kind of lined up, and it was the right time. And my son's a senior in high school. My daughter's a junior. And as we sit here right now, I haven't missed, I don't think, one of his baseball games this year and one of her hockey games. So you can take that contract and put it in the restroom in case you run out of toilet paper.
Right.
Because it meant nothing to me.
You're doing what you're supposed to be doing, yeah.
Compared to what I'm getting to do right now. So there's not an amount of money in the world that I would take to not do what I'm doing.
I love it. And you know, something that I talk about a lot is, you know, you can make more money doing whatever. I mean, money can be made. You can't get time back. And you can't get back what your kids are doing right now, and to be present and be there for them for their games, and for them to see you there has got to be amazing.
Yeah, like you said, you can make more money. You guys are paying me really well to do this podcast.
We are.
Yeah,
big check. Tony's writing it himself.
You didn't know that. No, so it's I wouldn't trade it for anything. I miss the kids on the team.
I'm sure.
I miss being around the kids, but I don't miss the bunt defenses and the pick plays and the bad umpires and the stuff like that.
The logistics and all the stuff you got to manage, yeah.
Yeah, I miss being around the kids and being around the fans every day. That's what I miss the most.
Sure.
Get to see my kids, man. It's been the best year of my career.
I can only imagine. I mean, like I said, and then you get to watch your son play next year here, and you know, at WVU, that's got to be a thrill for you.
My daughter has a hockey game tonight. My son has a baseball game tomorrow, and here we go.
Can't beat it.
Let's go.
You'll be back at Mondays drinking a beer probably at some point.
Well, this is a podcast, so.
Oh, well, you can have beer.
Do we have sponsorships?
No, sure. What we got?
We're
Red
open
Bull.
to them?
I like it.
With my wife and I's podcast, I start every podcast by cracking open a Red Bull.
Okay.
That's the official start. It's like the kickoff in football.
Yes.
So that's how we start. So I'm still looking for sponsorships.
I can't. I have trouble with Red Bull due to, in my younger days, too many Jaeger bombs, and now when I smell Red Bull, there are horrible memories that come back from my Jaeger bomb days. So I can't do the Red Bull.
My deal is I'm 58 years old. I'll be 59 next week. I've never even tasted coffee, ever, not one time.
So before Red Bull, what were you? What did you do before Red Bull? Or is there a before Red Bull?
I was younger. That's what I did before Red Bull.
You were well rested, right?
Yeah, you're fine.
I get it.
But yeah, this is I don't know what time it is, about 2:00. This is probably my second or third one today.
Good. I'm a coffee guy, so I'm always filling up with that. So as my girlfriend's son calls, I'm at Starbucks like 12 times a day. He calls it Buckaroos. He always says, "Are you going to Buckaroos again?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to Buckaroos again."
Whatever you got to do.
Whatever you got to do to keep yourself awake, right? But, you know, one other thing, when you came to Morgantown, came to West Virginia, you know, what were your thoughts? I mean, I don't know what you knew about the state or what you knew. I know you grew up in Johnstown, right? So you kind of knew the area well and knew about that. And but what were when you first got here? Kind of what was your impression, your thoughts on being here in Morgantown and in West Virginia?
Like I said, we just joined the Big 12. Everybody out there thought it was going to be a sleeping giant. So now you're in a Power 5 conference. I grew up in Johnstown. Amanda grew up in Columbus, Ohio, so we're both familiar.
Both close, yeah.
We're right between where we both grew up. My daddy was getting sick. He was battling cancer. He made it through my first fall here, but he never saw a spring game.
Oh.
But I wanted to come and so he could see me coach. So
sure.
I was always doing it so far from home, so it was all family reasons.
Yeah.
It was all related to family. And that's what I've tried to express to our players, that you're playing baseball right now, but baseball is only going to last for a short period of your life.
Yep.
Who gets to play beyond their 25th birthday? Very few people.
Very few, right.
So let's learn the things that we're going to see at Mondays when people walk out. They wave to
everybody says hi.
Yeah. When they walk in, I saw Steve sneak in there a little while ago.
Yeah, yes.
When people walk in, I say hi to them. When they walk out, I say goodbye. That's why we come to Mondays.
This is a great bar. That's what it's about.
So, yeah, what were we saying?
We were talking about – what the hell were we talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, old age.
You're 50.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to be – did you say you're going to be 59 next week?
I'll be
What day are you?
The 23rd.
Okay, well, I'm 53 next Wednesday, 21st. So
If we drop this on my birthday,
we could do that.
I don't know what day that is, but we could start
Friday.
Some sort of graphic.
Yeah, I think we could do that.
Now that I've met Karen, is Karen still here? The other Karen?
I think
she went outside.
Yeah.
I made a new friend today. Her son's a baseball player, so it's a
playing at Wright State. Yeah.
Yeah, small world. So we're just having a big time, just going through life every day. I'm doing a lot of cooking and gardening.
Very nice.
How about that?
So you grow it and then you cook it.
Not in that order, but because I just planted it, so it's not ready to cook yet. So I'm been doing the cooking before the planting.
But soon.
But that's the play.
You'll have a crop.
Yeah, I have a big garden. I get out there by myself, and nobody screams at me or asks me stupid questions.
Plants don't argue with you.
There's no umpires anywhere near me, and It's just I have the best time.
Very nice. I like to hear it. We're going to take another quick break, and then we're going to come back and talk a little bit about, some of the things you've dealt with your son and some difficulties there, and then just kind of how you handle things in your, I think you have a great message and a great way about you, and just kind of what gets you through every day, and maybe give some advice to people that are having some trouble out there and how they deal with it. So we're here at Bald, Bearded, and Bold. We'll be right back. Thank you very much. Here live from Mundy's Place in Morgantown, West Virginia.
Welcome to Guntree, West Virginia's 48,000 square foot facility with 22 indoor lanes, including 4 100-yard lanes, a world-class shooting range and training center that has the comforts and amenities of a country club. Whether you're a first-time shooter or a seasoned pro, it's the perfect place to host a corporate event, plan a family outing, train with a buddy, or level up with expert-led classes. Experience Guntree now open in Wheeling, West Virginia.
We are back here on Bald, Bearded, and Bold with Coach Randy Mazey of the West Virginia Mountaineers. Back here at Mundy's Place here in Morgantown, West Virginia. Let's get a round of applause for Mundy's from the great patrons here, all the loyal folks that are here to see Coach. And just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about, I know you had some difficult period there with your son here, and just kind of how you got through that, and kind of a message that what got you through that and got you, if people are going through a tough time, kind of what your thoughts are, what gets you through those tough times. Yeah,
and this gets pretty tough for me to talk about.
Understand.
Especially since he's here.
Yes.
But he's doing great, as you can see. Big playoff game tomorrow night for MHS. But, when he was 14, on March 9th of 2021, he was in a collision on the baseball field.
Yep.
A pretty bad one. Suffered multiple skull fractures and brain swelling and brain bleeding, and didn't know how that was going to go for the first couple hours.
Sure.
Rushed to the ER and the trauma room and CAT scans, and you're worried about spinal cord injuries, that type thing. And that was a tough time. Of course, it was during COVID.
Right.
So you could only have one parent with them at the time. You can imagine what that's like.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
So spent about a week in the ICU, transferred to WVU Children's Hospital, and then airlifted to Atlanta to a place called the Shepherd Center.
Okay.
Who specializes in brain and spinal cord rehabilitation. Spent a couple months there relearning a lot of things.
Sure.
And that was tough. I missed about 15 games that spring to be with them.
Sure.
When me and Amanda were alternating who was going to go and who's going to stay with Sierra. But, you know, that turned me into a positive person.
Sure.
Because we got through it. He's doing great, and we started a foundation. His nickname is Whammer.
Okay.
We're not geniuses. His initials are WAM.
Oh, well.
So his nickname was Wham for a long time. Yeah. No hidden
Very
meaning.
creative.
Yeah, very creative. So he goes by Whammer. So the foundation is teamwhammer.com, and we raised probably $250,000 for.
Oh, that's fantastic.
For adolescents in the state of West Virginia who suffer injuries like that need to get to where they need to get to.
Okay.
A lot of people can't afford to get there.
So it gets the transportation.
And in West Virginia, we don't have a brain and spinal cord rehab facility like they have. There's 2 or 3 of them in the country that specialize in that.
Okay.
And at the time, you'd sell your house to get wherever you needed to get. But the flight from Morgantown to Atlanta to get them there was $90,000 on a private jet.
Yep.
So we're like, I don't care. Where's the keys? Let's go.
Oh, of course.
But a lot of people can't do that.
Right.
So that's why we started raising money, so people that need the care that they can get to where they need to get. So when a kid from West Virginia gets injured, Amy Bush from Children's Hospital called me and said, Mays, we got another one. We need your help. Let's go.
Go on,
so imagine turning what happened to him that day.
Sure.
Into what we're doing now. If that doesn't make you a positive person, then go jump off a bridge.
Exactly.
Know? So you can turn anything into a positive. It's not easy, but you can turn anything into a positive if you really want to.
If your focus is right and you get your mind on.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what happens. I got fired as a baseball coach one year. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. I immediately became a better coach.
Yep.
Because you know what you do wrong. You can turn a speeding ticket into a positive. Guy comes up to the window, the cop, and pulls you over for speeding and says, thanks, man. I could have killed somebody. I appreciate you pulling me over.
Sure.
What do you think he'd say if you said that? He'd freak out. But you can be positive about anything if you try hard enough, no matter what.
Well, and then something that, I've dealt with, I mentioned my wife passed about 3 years ago, and my wife had some issues from her childhood and had some addiction problems. And something that I've talked about on the podcast a lot is you can always spin, when something like that happens to you, you can either take it and you can fold, or you can have it get you up and motivate you to do better and be a better. It changed me as a human being, and it changed naturally. My kids don't have their mom, and I got to be both for them. And you got to look. The way I looked at it was I got to get up and get my ass moving and take care of my kids. But I also wanted them to understand, that their mother still loved them, and so you got to turn it into a positive.
Yeah, you got 2 choices. You can either get bitter or get better.
Exactly right.
And we tell our team that all the time. And if you want to get better, you can. Yep. It's we talk about equality so much in the country these days.
Yep.
The biggest thing I see in equality is everybody has 24 hours in a day to do what they want to do.
Yes.
That's equality. The rest of the other stuff's just a bunch of hogwash.
Yep.
Everybody has the opportunity to have a good day and do the right thing if they want to.
Yep.
So just last week, there was 2 kids. I don't know if you guys heard, 2 kids from Frostburg State. Second baseman and the right fielder had a collision, and the second baseman's in bad shape. He's already had 2 brain surgeries.
Oh, wow.
They dove head first into each other. He's got brain bleeds, knocked most of his teeth out, and I called the coach and sent him the video of my son and his recovery. And that helps. That helps. When we were going through it, I would have loved to have seen an inspirational story of, oh, you mean this happened to somebody else and they got better?
You know, it gives you something to
There's light
a
at the
goal.
end of-
You got,
yeah.
Exactly. You got
No
a goal.
doubt.
Yeah.
So we actually started videotaping when he got hurt. Amanda started videotaping him in the hospital, not because we're public people, because we wanted to show him his progress when he got through it. But at the end of it, it may even have been you, Mindy, she may have been one of the first ones to see the video that said, you need to show that to people. That's pretty inspirational.
Yes.
So that's how we started Team Whammer. And the video of his recovery, if you've never seen it, you should watch it.
Yep.
You'll cry like I do every time I watch it. So it just gives people hope and teaches people to be positive. And no matter what happens, you can figure out a way to spin it the right way.
Yeah, and something I tell my kids every day is, try and do what Jesus would do. Look at, my kids are always saying to me, is this good, is this bad, is it, and I'm like, look at what the big guy did. And, kind of try and emulate that. You can't do it every day. I mean, none of us are perfect. But, put a positive spin on anything that you do, and I think failure is the most important thing you can have because we can all win. That's easy. The failure is what teaches you the lessons and makes you a better person and things that motivate you. And when you're down, just get up and move forward and be positive. And things are always, if you can do that, I mean, it's going to be better the next day. There's no doubt.
Yeah, and that was part of why I retired too. I stopped coaching baseball. I didn't stop coaching. I still love to get out and speak to groups and speak to teams about stuff like this.
Sure.
I still love to coach people. I just don't want to coach baseball anymore.
Coaching life.
Yeah, I coached baseball for 35 years. I want to coach people. If I can get one person to jump on board with being positive after something bad happens and find a way to spin it, that's coaching.
You've changed a life.
That's coaching.
Yeah.
So I still love coaching. I just don't love coaching hitting, pitching. So, yeah, I still want to get out there and be active and do a lot of that, and hopefully that portion of my career will take off.
And you're great. I mean, your message is fantastic. I mean, it's amazing to see your boy, and he's doing well and playing again. And, kudos to him for the intestinal fortitude and doing what he did and going through that. Amazing. Has great support from you guys, but amazing what he did for himself.
Well, a lot of people ask me if there are any lingering effects from his injury, and he got called out on strikes yesterday looking.
Yeah.
So I think there's something going on there. 'Cause my kid would never do that. Took strike 3. It's got to be the injury.
It got to be, you think?
It's got to be it.
That's the only excuse?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
But I actually think, believe this or not, he's a hockey player too. And the part of his brain that was damaged was balance and equilibrium.
Okay.
And that's what hockey is.
Oh,
You're trying to perform on a...
You're on a very thin line there,
I think playing hockey helped his rehab.
Okay.
Because that helped his balance and his coordination. And so that was... It's all worked out.
That's great. So glad to hear. Great message for anybody, like I said, with the positivity and things like that. But, again, it's nice to see you out there now putting that message out and speaking to people and telling them what you've been through and what your family's been through.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that need to hear some of that stuff.
No doubt.
And going back to Dr. Phil...
you like some Dr. Phil now. I mean, you're digging Phil. The bald guy.
Couple things he
being a bald guy, I like that. Yeah.
Couple things he says that I say all the time is, he starts every show by saying today could be a changing day in your life.
Sure.
And it really can be.
Yep.
Something very, very simple like making your bed in the morning can eventually change your life. If you learn how to do stuff like that consistently, eventually it can change your life. not texting and driving, and simple things.
Basic things.
You know, so today could be a changing day in anyone's life. And the other thing he says all the time, when somebody gets on there and tries to defend their actions, that if your actions were great, you wouldn't be on Dr. Phil to start with.
Very good point. Yeah.
So if they go on there and try and defend it, he always says, well, how's that working out for you?
Right.
And it's never working out all that great if you're on Dr. Phil. So if anybody does something stupid and tries to defend it, I always say, well, how's that working out for you?
Right.
It's not. So you need to think about changing. So for all my friends in here, today could be a changing day in their lives.
Absolutely.
No matter what.
Every day's a gift.
Every day's a gift.
Yeah, absolutely.
The ultimate inequality. Everybody has 24 hours.
Well, speaking of your friends in here, let's take a couple questions. This could get ugly. But
Al, you're getting a phone call. Al, they're towing your truck.
Yeah, let's.
No, I abstained from asking you anything. I did tell them. Well, anyway. Go ahead.
No, don't do it, Al.
So, would anybody like to throw any questions at Coach Mazey or tell a story?
Mindy has one.
Oh, go ahead, Mindy.
I always like to ask you about your cooking since it's become warmer and summer's coming. What's your go-to cooking lately?
What's on the menu for the summer?
The cooking has taken a back seat to baseball season and hockey season. I was fired up about it over the wintertime when there wasn't much going on. But since then, haven't cooked a lot. But I like making something that I've never made before. I don't like to go to, this is simple and easy. So when I was cooking a lot, I didn't just go buy a box of pasta. I went and bought a pasta maker so I could make my own, because I like the creative side of doing things different. And I grow shit in my garden that most humans wouldn't grow, just to say I could do it. So I like the creativity, and I like just trying new things to see how it works out. And my poor kids, they have to.
So you're guinea pigging your kids on that stuff. They got to eat this stuff.
Yeah, for the most part. But Wham way better than Sierra.
Okay.
Wham will try anything Sierra won't.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm lucky with my two. They will eat. For a 6 and an 8-year-old, my son will eat just about anything. So, which is unusual. We don't have the chicken tender pizza thing. He'll eat some wild stuff. So,
well, a funny story about Wham since he's in the house. In 2022, we always make our kids on New Year's Day eat the pork and the sauerkraut.
Oh, we got luck. The whole sauerkraut luck thing. I get it.
Sauerkraut and the greens. You eat collard greens for wealth. And,
sure.
So he hates sauerkraut so bad. In 2021, we made him eat it. And in 2022, he said, I can't do it again.
No more sauerkraut.
We made him eat it, and he puked it up right on his plate.
Okay. So that was a bad decision on your part. Yeah.
And the next time we tried to make him eat it, he was like, well, I ate this last year, and I had a terrible year, so I'm not going to eat it this year.
No more sauerkraut. We're done. We're done with sauerkraut.
Hasn't eaten sauerkraut since.
I can't blame.
I know.
Yeah.
So it's all relative.
Do you do, and I don't know, any of you guys, do you throw the money in the sauerkraut? Did anybody hear this story? Exactly. And you can't dig.
No wonder he doesn't like it.
And you can't dig for it. You got to just pull it out. Yeah.
You get the money in your plate, you're going to.
That's good luck for the year. Okay, I want it because a lot of people don't know that, but that's something I came up with.
That's the only reason you eat sauerkraut with the dimes.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to know that I'm not the only one that does that kind of stuff. So,
Pat, do you know there's no tooth fairy?
Just so you know, I don't eat sauerkraut either.
Cut that out in case there are kids watching. I don't want to be the guy that breaks the bad news to them about the tooth fairy.
About the tooth fairy? It's okay. Yeah. There's still a tooth fairy running around out there somewhere. Any other questions or comments or stories? Please, Al.
I have to throw one at you.
Yeah, please do. We need to hear it.
First off, it might be not a question, but just a comment. Being the godfather of West Virginia baseball, so to speak, when you see the team, when you see the team perform on a positive note or maybe a negative note. And I know you probably have these things going through your cranium that I wish they would have or they should have, but you don't say it publicly. You might say it in the privacy of your own, with your own, but I admire you for, not being one of those hovering ex-coaches that, man, they should have done this, or why didn't they do that? They should have been, you don't go there. You might go there in your own mind, but you don't blurt it out. So that's a good thing.
Al, after all of that, the thing that I take away from that question is that you admire me. I admire you too, Al. Thank you.
Is that where you were going, Al? Were you going with the admire thing? Is that?
Here's my.
Al's return too.
He eats all my chicken wings before he goes up there.
Oh, okay.
He didn't do that.
Oh, okay.
Here's how I feel about West Virginia baseball this season. Because everybody asked me, man, they're doing so great without you. They're doing so great without you. Do you wish you were still out there? And I tell them no, because I always wanted West Virginia to go to Omaha and go to the College World Series.
Of course.
For the kids, for the coaches, and for the people in the state. It was never about me going, because I've been there. I wanted them to go. And if they go without me, then that's accomplishing my goal for them.
Sure.
Because I want them to experience that, and I want the people and the residents of West Virginia to experience West Virginia baseball playing in the College World Series. So I didn't have to go. I want them to go.
Right.
And so I'm extremely happy for the success that they're having, and I root like crazy for them every day, for Coach Sabes and Garcia and Jimmy and Jed and Oni and all those guys. I want them to experience it because I know what it's like. So it was never about me. So if the kids and the coaches get to go and the fans get to see us play there, and I get to see Whammer and Sierra play baseball and hockey, that's a perfect storm.
You're winning.
I'm winning, and I'm not out there every day. And I never wanted to be the little guy on Sabes' shoulder telling him what he did right and what he did wrong. To say I've stepped back is an understatement.
Right.
But he and I talk all the time about the team and about what he's thinking and what I'm thinking. So it's been literally a perfect storm. And to be honest with you, in today's world of NIL and transfer portal,
sure,
a coaching transition has to go smoothly. Or if it doesn't go smoothly, kids just haul ass because they can.
Right.
And we needed this transition to go smoothly because at West Virginia we had just undergone a transition, a head coaching transition that didn't go smoothly.
Correct.
So I wanted to make sure that this one did for the sake of the program and the sake of the people. And when we made this transition, not one player left.
Yep. And that speaks to you and the staff and all the things you've done and the kids, and it also speaks to the culture hugely because they're here for that. They're here for the culture and what they're getting.
Yeah, if I would have just retired unannounced and they would have hired somebody from outside, the program would have taken a hit for a couple of years.
No doubt.
We wouldn't have won the Big 12 2 years ago. It wouldn't have played in the Super Regional, and they wouldn't have won the Big 12 championship 4 days ago, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That was good, yeah.
So, yeah, it couldn't have gone better for everyone involved.
Well, it's something Tony brought up earlier, and then we got to wrap things up. But he told me about a picture that he saw of where the field is now, and it was all dirt. There was nothing there. And now you go up there and you see that beautiful field and what's gone on with the development up there and what the kind of baseball they're playing. And a lot of that speaks to what you've done and what the kids have done and what that whole program has done. So amazing. Truly amazing.
They're in a pretty good spot right now. That picture, we went up when they excavated that land and it was just a bunch of dirt. Took the team up there one day and said, let's just pretend like this field's in place.
Right.
So we had the team in the blue uniforms sit where we thought the third base dugout was going to go.
Yeah.
the gold team and the first base dugout, and put a team out in the field.
Envision what's going to be here. Yeah.
And they were actually playing in the dirt right exactly where the stadium sits now.
Fantastic.
So it was pretty cool.
Yep.
So
and now look where it is. I mean, it's right where you
now
wanted
we need
it
to think
be.
about expanding that bad boy because it's going to be hard to get a ticket for the upcoming regional.
No doubt.
That we're hoping to host. So the last time we hosted a regional in 2019, some tickets were going for $500, I think. Could you imagine?
It's amazing.
A ticket to a West Virginia baseball game, $500 might be worse this time around.
I think it would because and imagine with the way we travel as a group. Imagine if they would make it to Omaha. Can you imagine the presence of Mountaineer fans out there? It'd be fantastic.
No doubt. Here's a trivia question. Am I allowed to do trivia questions?
Sure, go ahead. Do whatever you want.
I've got a ticket to tonight's game if anybody wants to go for the answer to this trivia question. They're all season ticket holders.
They're going anyway,
just
right?
A prop. Off the 2019 Mountaineer baseball team that hosted that regional, how many pitchers off that team made the big leagues this year, and who are they?
Oh, wow.
Off of one pitching staff, 2019. How many fingers were you holding up, Pat?
4.
Name them.
I can't name them. I know Manoa, but
Kate Stroud. Wolf Stroud. Kate Stroud.
okay, who else? George?
Alec Manoa, Jackson Wolf, Cade Stroud, Ryan Burgert. 4 major league pitchers
Off of one
on one
staff.
college baseball team. How the hell did we not win that game? We have 4 big leaguers. We should have done better than we did that year. It's just bad coaching. It's coaching. It's got to be the coaching. So, tickets going back in my pocket.
Yeah, nobody wins. Nobody
wins.
Well, Coach, been an honor. Thank you so much. Appreciate your positivity. Appreciate all you've done for the state and for the school and for the kids.
Yeah.
Honored to do this today. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
for being
Thank you
on
for
Ball
having
Bearded
me.
and Bold.
Appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Here from Mundy's Place. Please come in, have a beer, have something to eat, and support the Mountaineers.
Have a Red Bull.
Thanks. Have a Red Bull.
Which camera's
yeah.
our sponsorship?
Yeah,
camera?
you have right over there. Right
Yeah.
over there. Thanks, everybody, for coming. We appreciate it. We'll see you again here on Bald Bearded and Bold.
We'll see you all tonight.
Absolutely. Go Mountaineers.
Yes, sir.